அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். On behalf of Sri Aurobindo Society, Smith Road, I welcome all of you to today's satsang. Today, Srimati Sujata Pati is joined us, and she is going to talk about only mother. That is a topic she is going to talk. Sujata Pati is well known to our Sri Aurobindo Society, Chennai. She had visited our society and she gave a talk also. She had her early education, school education in Ashram School between 1971 and to 1977. She had opportunity to meet the mother also. After her schooling, she got graduated from Cuttack, and after graduation, she started a center which is oriented to ashram life in 2013 in a small town called Brahman Sukhu, that is in Orissa. That the aim of the center is to work for spreading the message of the mother and Sri Aurobindo in nearby villages and towns. And her whole family, her husband, her wife, her husband, her daughter, and her son, everybody is involved in this work, and she has dedicated her entire life towards the cause of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. It is really an opportunity for us to hear her talk about the mother. I welcome Madam Sujata Pati on behalf of our society and on behalf of all the mother devotees who have assembled here. Now I request Sujata Pati to deliver her talk. Over to you, Madam Sujata Pati.
Hello, hope I'm audible. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, a little more louder, please.
Okay. My humble
You can switch on your. One small request. I request all the others to switch off the mic and to switch off the camera. Madam, if you want, you can switch on the camera also. Sujata, madam.
Okay. Do you want me to switch on the camera or?
It's okay? Yeah, it's better. It's better. Okay.
My humble salutation to the divine presence in all. My gratitude to the
camera, little lower. Your face is not visible. Okay.
My gratitude to the Divine Mother for giving me this opportunity through Mr. Shiv Kumarji to speak in this meeting. The topic we are going to discuss today is only mother. So why only mother? As we knew in evolutionary process, we have reached this state. From matter, we have evolved to life. Life came into existence, and from life to mind. We have been evolved from animal to man. But man is not the final. Sri Aurobindo says, man is a transitional being. He is not the final. Because man is still an animal in his outer nature, Mother says, man is a thinking and speaking animal. He is still an animal in his habit and instincts. No doubt nature will be ever satisfied in her incomplete work. Now she is going to produce a being who will be to man as man is to the animal. And Sri Aurobindo said, a being who will remain man in his external form and yet whose consciousness will rise far above the mental and its slavery to ignorance. So in short, man is moving towards perfection and will be transformed to a divine being who will be free from the clutches of miseries, falsehood, and death, which man had wanted since the beginning of his existence. So for this transformation, to lift us to another height, Mother herself consented to come down and chose to go deep into the inconscient, and she cleared the way to the superconscient. As Sri Aurobindo has said, it is the sacrifice of the Divine Mother. To explaining this purpose of Mother's embodiment, Sri Aurobindo said, her embodiment, her means Mother's embodiment, is a chance for the earth consciousness to receive the supramental into it and undergo first the transformation necessary for that to be possible. Afterwards, there will be a further transformation by the supramental, but the whole earth consciousness will not be supramentalized. There will be first a new race representing the supermind as man represents the mind. So this whole thing, the whole process will be done by the mother. So if our aim is transformation, if we want to rise above mind, above the human consciousness, to the divine consciousness, then only mother. All of us must have read the book The Mother, written by Sri Aurobindo, in which he has described the different aspects of the mother. Men have been worshipping the different forms and aspects of the mother as Durga, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Chandi, and many others since ages as a separate entity. They are all overmind gods and goddesses, whereas the mother belongs to the supermind, supramental plane. Durga used to come, often visited mother. Once mother asked, "Why do I still want to be worshipped as a separate entity when Supreme is there? The center of worship must be the Supreme." Then Durga realized, because before the overmind gods and goddesses, they used to have the supremacy. They used to feel they had the feeling of supremacy. So when mother spoke this to Durga, she immediately realized that she is not the supreme. She surrendered herself, though she had the joy of her power, but after surrendering, she had the joy or ananda of surrender, which she experienced for the first time. There she declared that from now I no longer want to be worshipped. From now I become the devotee of the Supreme. Now Durga doesn't want to be worshipped, but people still worship. So she has become only a channel to put forward this worship which people give her to the Aditi. She passed this worship to the Divine Mother, the Aditi. Once a sadhak asked permission from the mother to go to Calcutta for Durga Puja. Mother said, why do you want to go there? To worship goddess Durga? She herself doesn't want. The same power is in me now. All the goddess aspects are in me. So now, if we worship them separately, the prayer will go through them to the Divine Mother, the Aditi, as they have become only the channel, but we won't get the total benefit. Only if we worship the Mother directly, we shall get the integral benefit. It will lead us towards the transformation. Never on her earth's history this hour had come. The Divine Mother has descended with all her powers to fight the obscurities, falsehood, sorrow, death, and save the mankind. But when we speak of worship the Mother, it is not the same as traditional worship as we usually understand. Her worship means to love the Mother. Here, when we say to worship the Mother, it means to love the Mother, have a total faith on Mother, to rely only on her, to give one's entire responsibility to her, to make a dynamic surrender. Dynamic means it doesn't come only from the mind, from the surface. People say, I have surrendered everything to her. But when any problem, and in every small happenings, they get tensed, bewildered, upset. Why did this happen to me? So this is not the surrender, real surrender. When we are giving our responsibility to her, so we should be very happy, the joy, the surrender should come with a joy. So in our life, nothing should be more important than our relation with the mother. Sri Aurobindo has said, let nothing come between you and the mother. To another sadhak, he said, if you bring somebody between you and the mother, it is bound to give trouble. So, we must always keep ourselves open to the mother alone. But so long as our mind, vital and physical are not solely governed by the psychic, they are under other influences, it is difficult to be in constant touch with the mother or constantly be open to the mother. So Sri Aurobindo was asked to observe, the sadhak asked Sri Aurobindo how to remain open to the mother. So he gave 3 rules for this to begin with. The first rule, he said, keep always confidence in the mother's care and love. Trust in them and distrust every suggestion, every appearances that seems to contradict. But what we usually do, we trust everything else. We trust everything else except mother. So, we trust our friends, we trust our relatives, we trust even the strangers. We trust the suggestions from our different parts of our being. But when it comes to trust the divine, we have doubt. Does she really listen? Will she really help? So first, as said by Sri Aurobindo, we have to keep confidence on her alone. We must learn to rely on her alone. The second rule, reject immediately every feeling, every impulse that makes you draw back from the mother, from your true relation with her, from inner nearness, from simple and straightforward confidence in her. So we have to be very, very conscious that nothing may drag us from the mother. Our feelings, the feeling of fear, feeling of depression, feeling of sorrow, feeling of incapability, etc. All these feelings draw us away from the mother. Fear is the most dangerous part because hostile force use fear as his greatest weapon. Mother said, we invite the thing we fear. So by fear, we give it a form, we give it a shape, and it attacks. So feeling of sorrow and depression leads us away from the mother and leaves us away from her protection. It takes us out of her protection. Similarly, we must reject the impulse like anger, jealousy, desire, ego. We should step back before acting. But you see how things happen when we do not step back. Well, for example, one small boy asked his father, he was studying his history, he must be studying his history book. Then he asked his father, Father, how does this war happen? How does the war take place? So his father tried to explain him by saying him, you see, you are very small, you won't understand the things. There are political cause, there are religious cause, there are economical cause, all these things are there. So immediately his mother came out of the kitchen and said, why are you explaining these big words to this small boy? You can explain him by saying giving some small examples. So his father was hurt, his father's ego was hurt. And he said, who are you to interfere? Mind your own business. So her mother, she is no less. She said, I am his mother. I have every right to interfere. So her father said, I am his father, and he asked me, not you. And when it started, the boy said, okay, I understand. why how the war takes place. Okay. So this is how, this is not, this is only the ego which takes place, not, it is the ego which actually creates all these things. It's not the on this political cause or economical. These are just the outer appearances. So now, though we have to be very careful of these things. We should not get involved when anger comes. We have to check. When jealousy comes, all these things we have to check. We have to reject immediately. So third rule, he said, Sri Aurobindo says, do not lay much stress on outward signs. Your observation of them may easily mislead you. Keep yourself open to her and feel with your heart the inner heart, not the surface vital desire, but the heart of the true emotion. There you are more likely to find her, and be always near her in yourself and receive what constantly she is working to give you. So there are sometimes when sadhaks, they start the sadhana, some symbols, some signs when they come across, they start trying to analyze. So sometimes it misleads. So Sri Aurobindo says, instead of doing that, you keep yourself open to the mother, try to find her, see her and feel her in the depth of your heart. There we can find her and be able to receive what she wants to give us. So these are the three rules which our Lord has set before us to keep ourselves open to the mother. So by keeping ourselves open to the mother, we establish an intimacy with her. As we know, the most sweetest relation is the mother and of the child. So we are lucky to have the Divine Mother as our mother. So as a mother, she is our guru, our guide, our best friend, who never leaves us in spite of our errors, our ignorance, our stupidity, but always waits for our call. So calling the mother by repeating her name, Ma, Ma, her presence becomes more effective. We can say prayer and meditation also have the effect. But these three, prayer, meditation, and japa, have their own effect. Japa means the repetition of the name or of a mantra. So these three have their own effect. Prayer means to speak to the divine. When we are praying, we are saying something to the mother, to the divine. So it is the speaking to the divine. So meditation means to listen to the divine. Because during meditation, one makes the mind silent. And in silence, one is able to listen to the inner voice, which is the voice of the divine in us, within us. So we know when Sri Aurobindo was arrested and put into the prison, he was guided by his inner voice, which he said, Adesa. He acted according to those Adesa. So now, first the prayer means speak to the divine, meditation means to listen to the divine. Now, but japa is to live with the divine, where nothing will exist, only you and the divine, to live in her presence, to live with her. Long before, the saints and sages lay much stress on japa, but Sri Aurobindo had not given much importance. In 1954, when mother was asked about japa, she had said, one can do if that helps you. But later, after 1956, the descent of the supramental force to the earth atmosphere, mother saw that If the subconscious does not change, the transformation is not possible. She did all experiments on her body, but it did not respond to anything. When she experimented the japa in her own body, at 13th time, it started responding. The physical mind and the subconscious started responding. So mother declared that japa has the direct effect on the subconscious. Now we can say, mother says that now we can say that transformation is possible. In 1964, she said, I discovered myself the simple way for transformation. I got my own mantra. She also said, it is an almost physical discipline. It means the japa. About japa, she says that it is an almost physical discipline. Moreover, I have seen that the japa has an organizing effect on the subconscious, on the inconscient, on matter, on the body's cells. It takes time, but by persistently repeating it, in the long run, it has an effect. It is the same principle as doing daily exercises, mother says. On the piano, for example, you keep mechanically repeating them, and your hands are finally filled with with consciousness. Similarly, japa fills the body with consciousness. She said, I have done 10 years of work in a few months with japa. Mother repeated the name Om Namo Bhagavate. But for us, when Sri Aurobindo was asked about the mantra in this yoga, he had said, usually the mother's name has the full power in it, but in certain states of consciousness, the double name may have a special effect. Double name means, here he meant mother's name and Sri Aurobindo's name together. To many sadhaks and sadhikas, mother has told to repeat her name Ma, Ma, Ma. Once Surendranath Johar and his wife had been to see mother and asked for a mantra. Mother said, when you wake up and when you go to sleep, take my name, chant my name for 10 minutes before going to sleep and when you wake up. Ma, Ma, Ma. So the question may arise, why only mother's name? Once the Nizam of Hyderabad, who was a devotee of the mother, said that he has a friend who chants Sri Ram's name. So will it help? Will it have the same effect? Mother said no. In Sri Ram's name, there is a spiritual consciousness, psychic consciousness, mental consciousness, but not supramental consciousness, because supramental consciousness came now. So for the transformation, one has to repeat mother's name. Mother's name and supramental force goes together. So mother's name, Ma, Ma, Japa, is necessary for transformation. As we know, some must have heard of the name Babaji Maharaj. He was an instrument of the mother, and he was a devotee. He was living in ashram. He was a sadhak in the Sri Aurobindo ashram. He was formerly he was the devotee of Sri Ram and had the experience of japa of Sri Ram's name. But when he came to know the mother and stayed in the ashram, he took up mother's name for his japa. But he said to no one about it, as he didn't know if mother and Sri Aurobindo has said about it. In late 1970s, when Agenda was published, he came to know what mother has said about japa, and its importance and her experience in the process of transformation, he realized that he had the same experience what mother has said. So he wrote a book named Namajapa in the Yoga of Transformation. So there he has mentioned the technical effect of japa, how it helps to overcome our lower nature and its difficulties. So mother says, japa is a luxury. By doing continuous japa, one has the feeling of oneness with the divine. And we must have heard of the name Sant Tukaram, who is a Marathi poet of 17th century, has written his experience on japa. He says, make God the center of your life and chant his name. He says 3 benefits of japa. Like one who does japa while working, he need not have to work extra for the samadhistha state because he is already in that state by concentrating on the Lord. Next, he says, remembering Lord or doing japa while eating, one gets the result of fasting. Here, fasting means upavasa. Upavasa. It is not the way we understand. Because upa means near, vasa means living. Living near to the divine. So a story says, some gopi visited a sadhu across the river, in river Jamuna. They offered fruits, cream and sweets to that saint, the sadhu. He ate them all. Then they had some discussion, and while returning after having the discussion with sadhu, when they were returning, they saw that the river Ramuna was swelling. They went back to the sadhu and asked, how can they cross the river? The sadhu said, go and tell the river Yamuna, if the saint has observed Upavas today, then give us the way. Though the gopis were surprised because they had seen in their own eyes, he ate to his fill, everything they had given. Anyway, they went and said to the river, if the saint has observed Upavasa today, then leave us the way. And to their surprise, the Yamuna made the way for them. When they returned, they asked Krishna about the mystery behind it. Krishna said, see, although he has eaten, his consciousness was constantly with me all the time. He was not attached to the food. So taking the name while eating, we get the benefit of upavasa. So third, why people were actually doing upavas? Because in that state, we do not have the attachment for food. We do not have the tamasikata, so that we can concentrate on the divine more and more. So even while taking the food, if we chant the name of Lord, for us, if we chant the name of the mother, we take the name of the mother, we get the benefit of the upavas. Third, he says, one who takes the divine name as medicine, no illness will occur to him. As mother has also said, if we take, only mother has the power, only the divine has the power to heal, but the body sometimes believe in medicine. Excuse me. So we take the medicine, but divine has the full power to heal. Nowadays, people are doing the healing process, the spiritual healing process, and this really helps. So one who takes the divine name as medicine, no illness will occur to him. These 3 things which Tukaram had experienced, these things we can also practice. So we see the benefits of japa since ages. But now at this era, only mother's name has the total benefit. Mother has also told about different kinds of japa. the written japa. We can write the name of the mother because by writing, our whole body participate in that. She has also said about walk japa by walking, japa by walking. She used to do that on the terrace, and she has also said about the sound. If there is no one around to feel disturbed, we can do the japa loudly, which purifies the atmosphere, and the sound itself has a magical effect on the body. But now a question may arise: if one is not much aware or does not believe in the transformation, why should he do the japa? In that case, too, one must chant Mother's name, only Mother's name, which has the power to bring down peace and destroy the lower nature in us. So that will help to bring peace in family, in the surrounding, and also in the professional life, etc. He can lead a peaceful life. So in our life, nothing must be more prior to the mother and her work. A sadhak asked Sri Aurobindo, is transformation possible without working for the mother? Sri Aurobindo said, no, work is necessary. Only through work, our physical nature will change, which is indispensable for transformation. So we must take out some time to do the work, to work only for the mother. Because we may say that all is mother's work, but are we really conscious all the time? So we must spare some time exclusively for her work. But now the time has come to dedicate ourselves fully for her alone, only mother. So now, before ending, as I had spoken to Shiv Kumarji, that we would like to say a few lines how the work is going on, how it is going on progressively in the work, mother's work is going on in Odisha. So to give a concrete shape to mother's work, nowadays the concept of establishing more and more ashram based on the ideal of mother and Sri Aurobindo are coming up at different places. Although it had started long back in few places as per the vision of Pujya Babaji Maharaj, about whom I have already mentioned, he was a dynamic instrument of the mother and Sri Aurobindo. How now, I would like to say how it is taking the form. Those who are on the path or have some sort of inspiration they come and to some they want to dedicate their life for the mother, entirely for the mother and only for her alone. So they select a place, a land, or they form a trust and register it under the trust name. So some dedicated aspirant starts residing in that place by building a house, initially maybe a thatched or a small concrete one, and start doing mother's work there as their the part of sadhana. The first and the most important work is they go from village to village conducting study circles by delivering talks on the words of the mother and Sri Aurobindo in simple language. Conduct study circle, seminars, etc. in the ashram and invite people to participate there. Special emphasis is given to the young students by telling them the aim and purpose of life, the need of the hour, etc., by telling them good stories and incidents based on that. So, another field is agriculture. For self-sustenance of the ashram, different types of small projects are taken, such as agriculture or farming, milling, opening of cell centers, making agarbattis, making flower pots, photolamination, etc. There are many things which they decide according to the need of that area. So, to other, the other work for which we dedicate is the development of the relic center, the education of the children around uh, around the village where they stay, or even for some children they come and stay in the ashram, and under the guidance of the mother, and from the very childhood they stay in that atmosphere, although sometimes they are admitted into some other schools, but they stay in the guidance of mother and Sri Aurobindo in the ashram. Now things are taking place, taking shapes. It's going on in a progressive way, and still miles to go and miles to go. Changes will take place, and along with the changes will come the progress. And with this, I conclude gratitude to the Divine Mother, gratitude to the Divine Mother, and thanks to all.
Thank you, Sujata Madam. Since time is there, I request the participants, suppose if there are any questions, they can put before Sujata Madam so that she can answer your questions. Any questions are there? Anything regarding the Mother and Sri Aurobindo? Please put forward to Sujata Madam so that she can clarify. Yes, Suganya, please. Suganya, please.
Good evening to one and all in this forum. And Namaste, Sujata Pati ma'am. I was really inspired by your speech. Each and every word has just entered into me, and it was so nice to hear your words about mother and the Namajapa, especially what you said. It was very nice. My one question is writing japa. You said it's mother said that it is better to follow that, but after writing that, what to do with those books? Because I have many of it. Just I have a doubt regarding that, ma'am.
Sujata Madam, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Actually, when we write mother's name, mother's presence is there. So I think we can keep those books, or else if we think it is it becomes a burden, or it is somewhat you want to dispose, we can just drown it in the sea or somewhere in the water. That would be that is.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you. Very nice.
Mother has given the importance to mother, but even to the japa loudly done loudly, that also is has a very great effect on us.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much for clarifying my doubt. And really, it was very inspired. Your speech was very inspired, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks to mother also.
Telagavati ma'am, please. I think after that, Usha ma'am can. I find Telagavati ma'am and Usha ma'am both are raising their hands. Anybody can ask, no issue.
And similarly with the mother's photos, what can we do, madam? Mother's photos long back photos? Somewhat damaged, somewhat worn out. That's
About the photos which are torn and were asked, what to do with them. Probably your question is what to do with the photos which are
yes,
torn.
yes,
Old
ma'am.
photos. The same thing. We can drown it in the water,
Water.
in the sea,
Okay.
or what.
Uh,
Where at least, it is better to drown it in the sea. Actually, it will go off.
will you please repeat the different kinds of japa? Written japa, japa by walking. Then third one, madam.
Then we said about the japa, written japa, japa when walking, and japa loudly, when
Loudly.
with sound. Yes,
Okay.
because sound
Thank
it
you.
has a magical effect, even effect on the body itself, and
It's
also it cleans the atmosphere, it purifies the atmosphere. Once I was asking Babaji Maharaj, as I have already mentioned, I was asking why to repeat them, why to speak, do the japa loudly. He said, when you light a candle, if you put the candle on the doorstep, it will light. It will be the outside will be lighted as well as the inside. So this also is another effect of loud japa.
so kind of you, ma'am. Thank you for your clarification, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you much.
Sujata madam, can you tell us something about your early education in 71 to 77? Did you have the chance to meet the mother at your school?
Yes, on birthdays we're going to her. We're going near her. We used to get the privilege of going near her on her birthdays and balcony darshans. But for some, during 71 to 73, some darshans were closed because of her health, of mother's health. So, but still, we had the privilege of getting darshan on our on my birthday. I had the privilege, and also a special darshan, two special darshans also I had. Once my parents had come, and with them I had been for the special darshan. And sometimes when in my friend's birthday, when she visited, I had also followed her. So this type we had got her darshan and got the touch of her.
Really blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I think Sukanya ma'am is raising her hand.
No, sir. Previously, I had raised my hand, not now. But anyhow, if I want to ask few words about Champakta. Have you seen Champakta, ma'am? And anything to say about him? A few lines.
About Champaklalji, you were asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, uh, actually, I was a fan of him. In fact, I can say, and his personality and the grace he had always inspired me. And I was very small, but still, I used to tell my Hindi teacher Shambin, I don't know why when I see Champaklal, I feel a sort of happiness in me. I feel very nice, though he was quite, because he doesn't want that anyone should disturb the mother. So when we used to go in line for darshan, if we take a little longer time, he used to just tap on the head or on the shoulder and say us to move along. So this way, she, these are the ways because he always had the principle that no one should disturb mother. Mother should not feel, he should not be stressed. That's all. And after that also, when mother left her body, after that also, he kept the Mona Brata.
Oh.
People say many things about it, as we do not know exactly the thing. Well, I shouldn't speak about it. Then, when we used to go to him, he used to tell, when on my son's birthday, we had been to him that someone had presented him a camera. So whoever went to him, he used to take a snap of him and write. And that camera, the specialty of that camera was immediately the photo was coming out. So the print was coming out. So he used to write blessings on that and give it. So in that way also he had taken our photo and had written blessings, mother's blessings, only not blessings, mother's blessings he used to write. So these are the things we have written. We have read many things about him, but these are the things I just like to experience my own, I like to tell about my own experience of him. And
Thank you
yes,
very
on his
much.
birthday also, on his birthday, our Hindi teacher told us to write some letters to him. So we had in colored papers, we had written some letters. So all of us, all the students we wrote the letters and did binding like an album, and we had presented him. He was very happy. So these are the experience with him, with Champaklanaji.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Nice to hear from you about him. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anybody has any other questions? Please ask. Another 8 minutes time is there. You can ask.
Can I request something? So, if any one of you sing mother's song, or you can sing, with that we can end the conference, if you don't mind.
Nirmala is raising a hand.
Sir, can we sing in Tamil, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yes, yes, no problem.
Okay, sir. Then I'll sing.
More important than the language.
Okay. சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான் என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான் சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான் என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான் எது இங்கு நடந்தாலும் எவர் என்னை புகழ்ந்தாலும் வருவது நின்றாலும் நின்றது வந்தாலும் எது வந்த போதும் இன்பம் துன்பம் யாவுமே சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான் என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான் கலவரம் நிலவாத நிலமொன்று தருவாயோ அருள்மழை எல்லோர்க்கும் நீதையை புரியாயோ உனை தினம் மறவாத மனம் ஒன்று தருவாயோ மனதினில் நிஜமான உனை தினம் மறவாத மனம் ஒன்று தருவாயோ, மனதினில் நிஜமாக குடித்தனம் வருவாய். ஏதும் புரியாத ஏழை இந்த பிள்ளையே, சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான். என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான். சர்வமும் நீ என்று சரணத்தில் அறியாயோ, சக்தியே நிஜம் என்று நீதையை புரியாயோ. சரித்திரம் உனை போற்றும் சகலமும் நீ என்று, சந்ததி எல்லாமும் உனதடி தொழவென்று. எமக்கென நீயும் பூமி தன்னில் படைத்தது சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான். என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான். எது இங்கு நடந்தாலும் எவர் எம்மை புகழ்ந்தாலும், வருவது நின்றாலும் நின்றது வந்தாலும், எது வந்த போதும் இன்பம் துன்பம் யாவுமே சமர்ப்பணம் உனக்காகத்தான். என் தாயே இங்கே சகலமும் உனக்காகத்தான். Sorry ma'am, I am not a trained singer.
Ji, namaste. There is two questions to our madam. One is japa is important in our integral yoga. One. Two, jabam or work. Which is two more important in our integral yoga?
Srinivasan, can you repeat your question?
Yes, I couldn't follow.
Jabam is important in our integral yoga. First question. Second question, jabam or work. Which is two more important in our integral yoga?
Jabam or
Work.
worship or
Work,
what?
service.
Servicing, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you repeat,
Ma'am.
Shiv Kumar ji?
Ma'am, can you hear the question or shall I repeat?
Please repeat. I couldn't follow.
He is asking whether japa, how important is japa in this integral yoga, and japa vis-a-vis the work service, which is very important. That's what he asked.
Yeah. You see, as I have already said in my talk, that japa has the direct action. When you, as mother has said, japa has the power to change the inconscient. So japa, I can repeat that sentence, that mother said through japa, it worked on the inconscient, it worked on the subconscient, it changed the matter, it can change the matter, all these things the japa can help fix. So it is very important for the transformation process, because without the change of the subconscient, without the response of the physical mind, of the subconscient, of the inconscient, the transformation is not possible. So only even Sri Aurobindo has thought that when he was in his body, when he was trying, he said it is so difficult to change the subconscient. So we have to get some way to bypass the subconscient and go for towards transformation. But still they knew that it is not possible. It's not possible for the true transformation won't come by that. The subconscious has to be transformed, it has to be transformed. So that the subconscious responded only by japa. When mother started her japa, the subconscious started responding. So japa is important for the transformation, for the body transformation especially. And another question what you asked,
He's asked work, service versus japa, which is which takes priority, which should take priority?
Japa while working is the best. Even when working, when we are doing something, when we are watering the plants, when we are sweeping the floor, when we are cooking, when we are sweeping, whatever we are doing, the japa must go on within us. As mother said, my japa, she said, I don't remember the exact words, but she said that even while dressing myself, while brushing, while doing my work, everything, the japa is still there behind, is always there behind. So similarly, we have to practice the japa, as it will continue while doing the practice, while working, while whatever we do. If we do the japa, mama, mama, it will go on within us. And a time will come when we'll feel that from our heart the sound comes, the sound will be coming like mama, mama, mama. It will come. And gradually a time will come even when the cells will start doing the japa. So with the work, if we do the japa, that is most effective.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. We can, I think we can close. Before that, let me just sum up whatever you have spoken. In fact, first of all, we are all thankful to you for having given us a wonderful, inspiring speech. How we can open ourselves to the mother and Sri Aurobindo, because you have stated that only the mother can lift the man to Superman, and all gods and goddesses are in the mother, and we have to live only, we have to rely only on the mother, and we should not let anybody between us. And 3 things Sri Aurobindo has advised us to keep in mind. One is to have an unflinching confidence in the mother, complete trust in the mother, and then keep all negative feelings like depression or sorrow, because they prevent us from opening to the mother. Thirdly, we should not rely on outward signs. We should look inward. And in our sadhana, we should pray, we can meditate, we can do the japa. By praying, we are speaking to the divine. By meditating, we are listening to the divine. By doing japa, we are living with the divine. It is the japa, you have spoken much about the japa, and you have quoted from the book Babaji Maharaj that the importance of Nama Japa. It has a direct effect on our subconscious, and the japa has got a very clear role in our yoga of transformation. We can take the name of the double name Maharishi Aurobindo for doing this japa. While eating also, we can do this japa. While walking, we can do the japa. And while working, we can do the japa. If we do the japa while working, while doing our regular work, nothing like that. It brings us much closer to the mother and Sri Aurobindo. And work is indispensable for bringing us near to the mother. We have to work for the mother. These are all the very key points you have shared with us. Thank you very much for us. In fact, whatever your work, the work you are doing in Orissa, is very inspiring to all of us. I thank you very much for having participated in this function. Finally, I also thank Nirmala Madam for rendering a nice song on the mother. I thank you very much. I thank all the participants who have joined us in today's satsang. We are closing this event with a prayer music.
Bhagavate Sri Aravinda.